Hello, everyone. You're held captive till you listen to me for lunch. Okay, so you can see the doors are closed as well. So I'm serious. Um, anyway, thanks for coming over, and would love to give you my 2 cents on how to move from pilot fatigue to production. To keep it more interactive and ensure that you're overcoming your hunger, I just want to kind of ask a couple of questions in the middle and see if everyone is awake or they're asleep. Okay. So how many of you are like enterprises, like the big enterprises? Okay. How many of you are enterprise softwares? Okay. So actually, there are more buyers than sellers, which is very good to be in the position. So we keep hearing about the AI hype. Everywhere you go, it's all AI. I mean, I don't think anything else people are caring about these days other than AI. But the actual impact of AI in real world, it's been very slow paced compared to the hype that you see on LinkedIn, right? So how do you move away from the actual hype to get to a pilot and move these pilots to actual production impact? So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. At least my talk is all about AI implementation blueprint for the real world outcomes. This is something that we all agree that the AI is mission critical, and but very few of you are seeing a production grade outcomes which you can put a real ROI map to. All right. So let's talk about how to make these pilots into actual outcomes, and also if at all you're an enterprise software selling to enterprises, I'll talk about the product itself as well. So everywhere we see this lot of talks and gyan about the AI strategy. Like everyone is an AI guru these days, but how many of them are actually creating an impact, a real world impact of AI in their day-to-day productivity in their companies, right? So the typical expectation here is you want a very fast, zero-paced, zero-risk outcomes, but you are stuck in endless POCs, procurements are going longer because you don't see the value enough, there is no ROI, and so on and so forth. So this is what I feel that the reason why the pilots are failing. I think we are all looking at backwards. If you remember the early 2007, 2008, where the SaaS is on the rise, almost a decade back. I think we are trying to map how SaaS pilots were done to how AI pilots have to be done, which in my opinion is very, very wrong, because SaaS worked in a different way and AI works in a lot more different way, right? So the penetration that SaaS had and the time it took for penetration is exponentially higher than AI penetration that is happening in real world. So the AI pilots should also happen exponentially at that fast pace, not in a typical SaaS pilots, right? If you look at any kind of SaaS pilots, people will come to you and say, okay, let's do a 6-month pilot, right? You shouldn't be actually doing that in AI world. I mean, to see whether the AI is working for you or not, you shouldn't go through all of this, multiple dependency layers that SaaS used to have, where your IT team has to give an approval, and you have to give database access, you have to give server access, and you need to create custom APIs for that to be integrated, and the entire infra provisioning on, okay, I need this server to put our system on that. I don't think that's how AI should work. The way we are looking at is very different. This is one of the major reasons why AI pilots are failing, because you're seeing it in the same lens as you have seen SaaS, but ideally it's time to just upgrade to new glasses. And the second major reason why pilots are failing is they're not outcome driven. AI is not a system of record, right? So AI is supposed to give you an outcome, but again, similar to SaaS, you're trying to fit into a specific workflow, or you're trying to just say, okay, I have AI, but what is it exactly doing for you? And most importantly, whatever it is doing, with the outcome, how is the outcome being impactful for you? Let's say any outcome, in my opinion, has only two dimensions. One, either it should impact time or it should impact cost. So unless you're clear on what time is it saving for you, or what's the cost it is reducing, or what's the new top line it is bringing, either it should get you the money, or it should save you the money, or it should save you the time, right? So if none of this is happening, then it's not outcome driven. And again, you're just trying to slap AI on your existing workflows just because you need AI. That's another reason why the pilots are not going to production, because they will never get the executive approvals unless they are mapped to an ROI properly. So this is how we imagine the pilot should be. With respect to the access controls, AI should fit into your existing product as it is. If your tech team has to do work to get AI integrated into your system, then it is not AI. It should take your products, should take your workflows, it should take your systems of record as it is, learn them, and connect them together and execute workflows together across the systems. If that's not happening, then you're not actually doing AI, you are just doing RPA, right? So AI should learn every screen of a product. It should understand the network calls that are happening behind the screens and do its own MCP layer automatically. If your tech team is customizing your APIs to let the AI integrate with your system, then it's not really AI. And second, it should be mapped to a very, very clear outcomes. So some of the outcomes that I have listed down here is, it should be like, these are some of the outcomes that we drive, but it should be very clear. I'm reducing your effort, which is time. At the same time, I'm giving you this extra income to improve your top line, or I'm saving this operational cost for you to I'm getting you with the bottom line savings, right? So it should be very clearly mapped. So at Beacon, let me introduce what we do at Beacon as well. So we are an AI orchestration platform to reduce implementation life cycles. So if you look at the pilots that I'm talking about, we just need a demo account of a given product, no tech access, no backend access. We learn the product as it is from the user interface itself, map the network calls, map the actions that are possible in the screens, and create its own knowledge graph of the product, which includes both UI elements and the network or the API calls as well. And then we show a clear ROI on this is the amount of time you can reduce with Beacon. Let's say if you take an example like Workday, or if you're taking an example like Gainsight, typically it takes about 6 months of implementation for an enterprise client. We reduce them by 50%, right? So that's what we clearly talk about. Yeah. So now let me switch the gears from AI pilots to your own product. So the same way as we are expecting the AI pilots should have very clear outcome-driven process. Similarly, all your products that you are having, like enterprise software products or the products you're buying as an enterprise, we think that feature parity is not going to be different across the tools, even for enterprises who are buying multiple tools. If someone is telling I have these extra features, the other competition of them is going to build it in maybe another 2-3 days, given the AI speed that they have. The only moat or the differentiation that you get is how soon you can show the value to the customer. You could be on the either side of the table, but how soon are you able to get the value, right? So that's what it is all about. And your product should also be focusing on that. You should not be building or focusing just on feature richness of your products. You should look at how soon can I show the value to my customer as soon as the sale is done. So the signed deals to the ARR realization should happen much, much faster than it is today. Yeah, so as I mentioned, feature development is no longer a moat. UI UX is no longer a moat. The documentation is no longer a moat, because all of these are getting heavily influenced by AI. And you should look at one and only one thing, which is TTV. TTV is time to value. Just, it's immaterial who is on the other side. Everyone in the world is using the software to derive certain value from it. And unless they are seeing that value from the product, I think the product just failed. It could be a billion-dollar product with a fancy feature set, but if it is not useful to you, you just paid $1 million for nothing, right? Or you just paid $1 million and you're waiting for 2 years for the implementation to be done to actually use the product. So either ways, I think it's useless. Yeah, so your new moat is time to value. You could go live 2x, 3x faster, and you should see the ROI in weeks, not quarters, if not in days. And you should ship the updates continuously. The AI should learn the updates, retrain on the updates quickly, and keep refreshing its learning, keep building its knowledge graph on the product as quickly as it can. And you should look at how soon can I take this into production, right? So you should have the governance layers. You should have the defensibility on, yes, this AI works, and it works exactly to the scope that we're looking for. Yeah, so at the end, the competitive edge is always going to be the velocity. Yeah, so again, talking a bit about ourselves, we are an AI implementation orchestration layer that fixes all of these problems. We help with configuration, testing, cutover, and hypercare. We don't need the backend access for your systems. We learn it from the product itself, both the network calls as well as the UI actions as well. And we become your best implementation expert that can scale indefinitely without you needing to scale your humans. Yeah, so stop getting stuck in pilot fatigue. You need to have a very clear outcome-driven pilots. At the same time, with minimal access controls. If someone is coming to you and saying, okay, I need the data layers to be given to us, the data layers to be given to us, we need the server access, we need X and Y. I don't think that's how the world works anymore or should work anymore, because your product already have access to your servers and your data. So the AI that's going to do, so let me give you a small insight into this, right? Imagine you are giving the server access, the database access to the AI. So if essentially you are re-engineering the entire access control layer, saying that, okay, if the user with this role comes in, these are the things that you should do. But those are already baked into your products that you're already using. So AI should inherit those access control layers and perform the same way. It is an accelerator of a human. So it should not be granted autonomous access to the entire data set, because it still is error prone. So the best guardrails that you can keep is, I have all the guardrails in my system. I have taken care of the security. You just inherit that and execute it for me. You are the intelligent layer on top of it. I don't need you to figure out the access control layers, because those are already there in every single system out there in the world, right? So that's how secure and safe it is with Beacon. And we only train on metadata. So we call ourselves a stateless system. So any data that is needed, we bring it in real time with the respective access control layers of the specific user who logged into the system and trying to perform an action, right? So, and you can see our timeline as well. Like, you give us a demo account, and 7 days later, you would see Beacon working live on your platform as a POC. And once you see it and you like it or you love it, only then it goes forward. And in 4 weeks, you're live. You see something in production.